All right. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. Woo. What a day. What a day. What a day. All right. So, I am live now before Fresh comes on. Fresh will be on it. Um, I will say hi. I am going to shut the chat off for a little bit during this video. I'll keep turning it back on. But this is going to be my recovery video. I'm not going to pre record it. I figure, all I was going to do is sit there and talk anyway and then upload it. Um, because of what's going on this weekend, I'm just not going to have time to do that. So what I'm going to do is um, just do this live tonight. I won't have a coffee talk tomorrow morning. We're going to have to figure something out. I'll still be live tomorrow night, but I'm working all weekend. I kind of have to. I had a hectic day this morning, which is pretty much where I'll start. So, yeah, today is 6 years ago today. I decided, well, 6 years ago today is when I walked into rehab. Um, wish it was soon. I wish it was before that, but um, so I had a recovery video months back, um, and I said that I would do this video about lots of people have like these like spiritual awakenings or divine intervention, like divine the real word, not like me, like they're divine DIV or spiritual awakenings. And as much as I don't, not that I don't believe in them per se, there is a series of events that happen within a day or two that was probably what kind of just woke me up and just made me decide to start taking shit seriously. Um, so I guess I'm just going to, you know what? I'm just going to do this now. Listen, I'm gonna say what's up. I'm gonna wait 5 minutes and I'm gonna say what's up to everybody. I'm gonna shut chat off on myself. Um, but what's up, everybody? I hope everybody's having an awesome start to their weekend. Man, I had a rough morning. I had a crazy day. I had a rough morning, and I'm not gonna get into it. Everything's good now. That's usually how things go for me. I have like a bad day, but shit works out, right? Just I just gotta stay, and just about all day, especially in the morning, all I was thinking was like, "Here comes the rain." All I was thinking was, um, that it's my 6 days that I was walking into rehab 6 years ago. My 6 years, I was walking into rehab 6 years ago, and that day wasn't too good either. But all I kept thinking was, as bad as this day could go, I know it's not going to end in rehab. So that kept me going. It kept me positive. Sometimes when you're having a bad day, you kind of just gotta. I try to just laugh it off. I try to still make people around me feel like they're having a good day. It's almost like you're lying to yourself, but it ends up working out for me. You know, I don't tell everybody I'm great, but I'll tell everybody, have a good day. I hope you have a good day. Your sobriety date is your birthday. Wow. So it all worked out, but that's what I was thinking in the morning. I was like, it could be worse. That's always what I try to think, is it could be worse. It could be worse. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make that video either tomorrow. The pride baffle. I don't think I'm making that. I just gotta work. I gotta work this weekend. Um, that's just how it's gotta be, and that's okay. Um, 2-year survivor of a 20-year. Wow. Yep. You can't appreciate the sunny days without the rainy days, right? And it's raining right now. This day needs to be cooled off, man. It was hot today. It was fucking hot. Um, so let me do this. Let me say what's up to everybody, and then I'll just get on with my video. I'm gonna try to keep it. I mean, I don't think anybody's story's really short, right? Like anybody that went through addiction, not nobody's story is short. Everybody has stories to tell, and I think they help. I do. I think, especially for people that may be in active addiction or whatever, it helps hearing how other people are, or hearing how other people got through it or whatever. Or sometimes it's also kind of it's therapy for yourself too. Sometimes you got to remind yourself, like, I don't do much recovery stuff. Like, I don't. I don't. I have like one therapist meeting for a half an hour every month, and we almost never talk about anything like that. Um, so what's up, Bobby McGreedy? What's up? Brian Feeney, Dave Monteferro, Daytime Frank, Josh Main, Nathan Winkley, Nemo74, Nick Fenton, Raven Shadow Vapes, Straight Drippin', Thomas Robinson, Those Beans, Todd Black, Trevor Is That One Person, and Will Boyles. So how I would like to do this, anybody that I didn't say hi to, what is up? Anybody watching? Vape Rolls Vape. Living Grin, okay. I've been to both of them places, Living Grin and Friends Hospital. I've been to just about every one in Philly. That's actually kind of part of my story. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through my story, right? I'm gonna shut off chat because sometimes my eyes just wander to chat and it kind of distracts me because I like what these guys say lots of the times. Um, but it distracts me. So what I'm gonna do is shut down the chat for a little bit. I didn't like write any notes on this. I think I did that last time, but I'm just gonna go through memory. Like I forgot a couple things last time actually. I don't think I did write anything down. I'm not sure. I'd have to watch the video again. But I didn't forget a lot, man. I didn't even talk about like close deaths to me, like of my younger friends in that first video, which was it's kind of a big thing with addiction, isn't it? Lots of people in addiction. I mean, people die every day, but when you're in active addiction, it kind of seems like more people die because you're just living that lifestyle, right? So I'm gonna shut down my chat right now, and I'll pop it back up, and we can have a chat after that. I'm beat today, I really am, but I had to come on and at least tell you that there will be no coffee talk tomorrow morning. Actually, this is my coffee talk. No coffee talk tomorrow morning, but I will be live tomorrow night. Um, so June 8th is 4 years for you. Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right, um, so um, I guess where I'll start. I'm actually just going like 6 years ago today. Actually, a couple days before 6 years ago today. Um, so just like all fucking addicts. Actually, the title of my thing, right? The title of my thing. I don't know if anybody's ever heard this saying, but it's a good saying. You know, when they say like people get help when they hit rock bottom, right? And I remember when I went to rehab, they said, somebody said, I never heard it before until I went there, was you hit rock bottom when you're sick of digging or when you're done digging. And I always like that. I always like that because it's true. It was true for me. So um, so I guess like a couple days or weeks before, 6 years ago today. So let's just call it like June June 10th. I'll call it June 14th, something like that. It's like June 14th, um, or before June 14th. Let's do. I'm actively using, but I'm like, I want to stop. I want to stop, but I'm not doing nothing about it. I'm just saying I want to stop. I'm thinking I want to stop, but I ain't changing shit. I wasn't really changing. I was like trying to do like less drugs, or like, oh, I'm gonna wean myself down. I'm gonna buy methadone today, and I'm gonna take 5 today, 3 tomorrow, two the next day, and I'm just gonna do it. And it just never happened. There wasn't a day where I didn't do anything. And at this point, um, I lost my real job. I was working. I was doing side jobs, and I lost my real job for a little bit. I kind of just quit, because I wasn't showing up. I was like partying all weekend, and it started going into the week. And when I was partying all weekend, I would make myself tired for the week. So either way, I quit my job. I was doing side jobs. I ended up doing a job for my best friend's parents who lived in the neighborhood. And my best friend's parents, I grew up with them. I used to stay over their house. They're really like second parents. They were just, that close. And I at this point I've lost my apartment. I went into another apartment, another room, I should say, and just met up with them, and they were wanting to move out of Philadelphia. They were wanting to sell their house, but they needed shit fixed on their house. And I started working for them. In the middle of me working for them, I got kicked out of the room that I was in. And when I got kicked out of the room I was in, um, they took me in. They said, you stay here and you don't have to come here in the morning. You're here in the morning, but just start working. You know, the money that you make here, you could get an apartment after what, we got like 3 months of work here. You could probably put a down payment on an apartment and, you know, start new. Now they knew that, I was getting high, but they thought I was like stopping. They thought I was doing better. And I never really took advantage of them. Um, they were like one people I didn't. They weren't pushovers, but they just definitely weren't pushovers, but they weren't stupid. And I worked there for about 3 months, and they'd give me money every whenever, every day, every week, whenever I asked for it. They'd give me the money. I would tell them, yeah, I'm saving. I should be getting out of here soon. And then the 3 months goes by, and they think I'm ready to go. And one day, I had to go to them. This is about 10 days before or 14 days before I went away, and I told them, that money's spent, and I don't have money to move anywhere. And I still got a problem and everything. And they were extremely disappointed. Um, I remember that day leaving and just feeling like shit, just feeling like absolute shit. So these were my best friend's parents, and they were moving out of Philly. They wanted to move out of Philly before, I believe, but the mom, the lady I was living with, and her husband, they were older. They were like, in their 60s, 50, late 50s, 60s, and the mom like just got out of chemo, like 2 months before I started working there. And I told them that, and they weren't happy. And I ended up, I forget where I stayed that night. I didn't stay there anymore after that. Um, they probably would have let me, but I didn't. I didn't feel right. So I go that day, and I actually picked up the last of my money from them. Went that day. I didn't do anything really different. I just went out, made sure that I felt better by getting high again. And the next day, I had to. This was in the summertime because kids were out of school. So I had my daughter. My daughter was about 7 at the time, and she would stay there with me sometimes too. Because I really had nowhere to live. It was like if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have did. So I go back the next day, and this is where it this is kind of where like shit kind of started to make sense to me. I went back the next day because me and my daughter got up. I was going to take her to the park and just, I don't know, just figure out what the fuck I was going to do with that day. Probably really nothing. I knew that I wasn't feeling good from the day before. I wasn't feeling too good about myself, disappointing them. I already disappointed everybody else around me. They were just the last person. Um, so I went back there and they were there. And I went in and I said, Ava just wanted to see you for a bit. We just wanted to stop by. I think I had to grab tools or something. I forget why I went there. And I remember walking into the kitchen with the mother, and she just, I should tell you this. These people were, I told you, they're like second parents. The husband was like, he's like rocket scientist smart, like just so fucking smart. And I'm not going to say that the mom was stupid, but next to the father, everybody, like me, anybody, doesn't look as smart. So if you basically what I'm saying is if you think you're going to get anything out of anybody, you'd probably pick the husband. You'd probably pick him to tell you something that was very important. So, because we've had them talks about, everybody told me I deserve better and I'm better than what I'm doing. And, everybody, I just disappointed everybody. Everybody just expects more from me. They always have. I've always given more. That's just how it goes. Just everybody just expects more from everybody. You know, most addicts are just better people when they're not using. They're just a better breed, really. That's just how it is. Just how you do one thing is how you do all things. So, um, yeah, we go in the kitchen. She asked me. She said, "So what are you gonna do?" And I didn't really think about it. I was like, I remember I thought about it a little bit. I said, well, I guess I got to get another job and save up for an apartment so that my daughter and her mom could stay there while I don't know, maybe I could go to rehab or maybe I could do this, but I don't even have money for medical insurance. And she's like, the problem is with everybody when I said that is like I've done this before. They know like I know what to do. I'm just not doing it. This isn't my first. It wasn't my first rodeo. I know what to do. I know what I had to do. I've done it before. But for some reason, I thought I couldn't do it this time for a couple reasons. And she basically said that. She said, why don't you just do what you did before? And I said, because it's different now. It's just different. She's like, how? I said, because I fucked it up way more this time. Now I have a 7-year-old daughter to worry about. I can't just run away to rehab with a 7-year-old daughter with no house to go to, with um, with no house, with not just with. I said, and it's just I felt like I didn't deserve it because it was also like I didn't pay my taxes in years. I owed so many people money. I had a warrant out for my arrest. There was just so many things that I just spit off to her. I said, me and my daughter's mom, I know this relationship's over when I get out. And basically, I was thinking of all the things that were going to happen if I was clean. Like, it just didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. And I thought that I would let people down even if I went away and got clean. I just thought I didn't deserve it. I just thought I didn't deserve it. I thought I fucked up so much that I don't even deserve to get clean. I don't even deserve it. And I told, and now this, when you're in addiction, you think all these things. Your head races. You just think all these things, and you'll say it out loud if somebody gives you a chance, and you'll look crazy, but your head races. And then when you put medication and withdrawal on top of that, like if you're doing a bunch of different pills and you put all this shit on top of it, it just gets way worse and it's just so depressing. I remember like I used to watch the news and just feel depressed for people. So I told her like just all these things that happened, like just like this. I lost my apartment, you know, lost the fiance. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I have these bills to pay. I have no car, no nothing. I don't have a job, lost a really good job, all this. And she was like, so what? Who, so what? Oh, well, it's done and over with. And I was like, you don't understand. And when I was like, you don't understand what it feels like. And then when I said that, I kind of immediately thought like what this lady's been through. And it was basically because like the immediate thing I thought was like she has been through something. Like just because she hasn't been through addiction, she's probably been through something worse. And that would be that what I'm referring to is the cancer and getting that kind of news and dealing with it. And she dealt with it and she went through it and she succeeded. And when I said that, I kind of just immediately thought, and she just said it again. She just said, "It's done and over with. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Don't worry. Do you think that if you went away right now, that nobody would take care of your daughter? You think they would just let her go? Somebody will take care of her. You just got to do it. You got to do. You're not helping anybody right now. You think you're staying out to help people. You're not. You're not helping nobody. You're helping people by going away. That's how you're going to help people." And I wanted to go away. I wish I just had a vacation. I just wanted a vacation. That's all I needed. That and, just a little bit of help. So I remember like between that just stayed with me for a long time. Just her saying, it was almost like she was forgiving me, or like she was telling me, be selfish, like just do this for you and fuck everybody else. And I remember my daughter was sitting in the other room, and I called her in, and I said something like, Daddy's got to go to the hospital today to see if they could help him out. I might be there for a little bit because I was thinking I'm going to do this today, even though we had a talk, and I was like, wait, that's another thing I was saying. I was like, how am I going to just go to rehab? I have no insurance. I have no job. And she was telling me, go on welfare. That's what you did before. Go on welfare. And I was like, I could go on welfare? And she's like, yeah, you could go on welfare. You don't have a fucking job. You're basically a bum. You could go on welfare. And it just was something I never really considered. So I told my daughter, I was like, Daddy might, and she was very young. She was 6 or 7. And I remember telling her, like, I might have to go to the hospital for a little bit. I'm going to go try to go today. And I remember all she said was like, can we go to the park first? And that's another thing. I was just like, she don't even understand right now. She understands a little. She understands that I'm not good, but it's not too late, It's not too late to just do this. So if I went away June 28th, this was like June 14th. So that day, I took her to the park, dropped her off at I forget where I dropped her off. It was either my mom's or their house. And I went to welfare. And I thought welfare was going to be a nightmare. I was in and out of welfare, in and out, so quick. They said, all right, listen, you got 24 hours. Your paperwork has to go through. We don't see why there would be any problems that it didn't go through. But right now, in the summertime, everybody's trying to get clean. You need to go to Episcopal Hospital right now and try to get into somewhere. Go now. So I did that day. I went. Now, mind you, this is the 14th or something. It's like the 14th of June. Um, so I went there to Episcopal, and I'll put the chat on in a second. I'm not looking at chat just for anybody coming in. I just want to. So I went to the hospital. They took my blood. All right. I did get high that day. I did. I did get high. I did heroin that day, which was one of the first times I did it this time around. And I go there, take the blood test. I wait around. And I remember thinking of what she told me that whole time and just thinking, like, really? It, like, is that really what she thinks? Like, who cares? It's done and over with. Oh, well. Like, those were the three things she kept saying was, oh, well, and it's done and over with. And I remember just thinking that, and they came out and they said, listen, we don't have no beds open. There's no beds open right now. You kind of just have to go home, wait for welfare to kick in. We have your blood right here, so we know that you're using. If they come up dirty or whatever, I don't even think they had it right away. And call around, see if you can get a bed, whatever. But right now we can't do anything. So I went home that day, and it was just crushing because I thought that day I would figure it out. I would figure out how to. And I argued with them, and I just didn't. So the next day I wake up and I call the rehab I went to when I got clean the first time. I called Kirkbride. It's called Kirkbride Hospital, Kirkbride Rehab, whatever. I called them, and they said they transferred me to the insurance unit, and then they transferred me somewhere else and said, we just don't have beds right now, but you're on the list. You're on the list. We just don't have beds. I said, do you have any idea? They said, as soon as a bed opens, I can't tell you when. As soon as a bed opens, we got you. And every day I called for 14 days. In the morning, I did nothing. I did nothing. I always had a couple dollars there to get me by, and I would do something that day to make sure I had a couple dollars that day to get by the next day, because I always thought tomorrow I'm going to call and I'm going to have to go there and I'm going to want something to take when I go there, because every addict does that. They always want something to take when they go there. So every day I made sure, every night I made sure I had something or had money to go get something if tomorrow was the day. And for 14 days, I fucking waited. And I remember day like 8, I called the same lady every day I talked to, and she was just like, Nick, just hang in there. And the one day she was like, we got your blood test back from Episcopal. What did you say you used? And I said, heroin mostly, opiates and heroin. And she's like, Nick, don't take any more benzos. And I was like, why? And she's like, because there is a lot of benzos in your system. And I was doing a lot of Xanax. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was like the 8th day I called her. And then like the next day, she was like, seriously, don't do it, because you're going to go there and they're not going to dose you. They're not going to dose you that day because they can't. They can't do it because, the benzos and methadone are deadly and they're not going to do it. I was like, okay. So the 28th comes around. She She calls me. This is the only day she called me. She said, Nick, there's a bed open. I said, awesome. I'm on my way now. I said, I need about an hour to get there. I live 30 minutes from there. I'm going to make a stop. I kept a can of change the whole time for the last day. I had no other money besides this can of change. I took it to the coin store. I got like $25. I got enough for a pack of cigarettes, and like I bought 3 tombstones. I didn't do any opiates, but I did fucking benzos. I did do benzos because I couldn't find anything else that quick. And I got a bag of weed. I got a bag of weed, a blunt, cigarettes, and 3 tombstones. I took them, smoked the blunt on the walk to the thing. I literally sat outside rehab, about to walk in, and the pills were kicking in, and I literally threw the blunt to the ground and walked in the door. And I get in there, and they give me a urine, and I go to the doctor, and they ask me. Now, anybody that took benzos or Xanax knows that they're basically called fuck it. You don't give a fuck, okay? You don't give a fuck. What did that do for me that night? It made me extremely honest, like too honest. And I get into the doctor and he asks me, we just got your urine back and there's no heroin in it. I was like, wait, what? He's like, you wanted to get on methadone here? I said, yeah, it helped me out before. He's like, listen, does anybody else have your urines? Do you have a parole officer? I was like, I went to Episcopal 14 days ago. And they were like, all right, let's see if we could transfer them over. So Episcopal transfers it over. And it has heroin in it. So he's like, cool, all right. You're probably just doing shit or something. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I don't think I did take it for like 2 days. It was out of my system in like 2 days. So he gets the thing back. He's like, your benzo levels are ridiculous. And your benzo levels today are ridiculous. And I was like, dude, I double abuse. Like I usually use, and I said this, and it was absolutely true. Because the last couple days I was taking Xanax and methadone on the street. And I told him that. I said, listen, I take methadone and Xanax and opiates all the time. And I think because I said that, he dosed me. He fucking dosed me. They had to hook me up to wires all night, and I had to sleep on the couch because usually you have a bed, but they wanted me to be there just in case. You know, they had to fucking. Ain't nothing gonna happen. I've done it a million times. It wasn't gonna happen to me that night. So he did dose me, but I had to stay hooked up to something. Or they did vitals. They did like vitals every like 2 hours. They woke me up, made sure that everything was good, and I slept like next to the nurse. So anyway, before that, when I'm in waiting for the doctor, you wait for a long time. You wait for a really long time. I was there. I think I got there at like lunchtime, and I didn't get up there until 7 p.m. And by the time I'm sitting there, and they say, "All right, there's a guy coming down to take you up to the unit." I'm like, "All right," and the guy comes down, and they take you into a room, and you got to strip down, make sure you don't have no drugs or any weapons on you or anything. You have to strip down, and they give you a gown, and you could keep your boxers on or something. You could keep like your underwear on, and you get a hospital gown. And they take you up to the unit where everybody else is dressed in fucking clothes. So the guy takes me up after I do the strip search and everything, give them my clothes. They gotta like wash the clothes because bed bugs were a huge issue at this time. So they were washing everybody's shit. They had to take everything you brought and make sure they washed it and sterilized it. So all I have is my hospital gown and some paperwork. And the unit was like I forget what it's called. It's like 3D or 3C or something. I forget. It was a co-ed unit. They asked me, they basically ask you if you have a wife or fiance, and they'll put you in a co-ed unit. So it was male and female. Otherwise, like young kids get separated. But I was like 28 at the time, fiance with a kid. They put me in the co-ed. So I we're walking up the steps. The guy takes me up the steps, and he's like, "Did you just come off the streets?" I was like, basically, I was like, dude, I've been trying to get in here for 14 fucking days. I was like, I've been legitimately trying to get in here for 14 fucking days. And he's like, really? He's like, it's crazy out right now. Nobody wants to give up their beds. He said, the guy that you got your bed off of just left 2 hours ago. And everybody up here has been up here for more than 2 weeks. Has been nobody, we have had no people in 2 weeks. So I'm thinking that while we're all walking up the steps, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to be the fucking new guy, huh? All right. So I walk up there, and he's telling me, he's like, it's a good unit. We got our good seeds, our bad seeds, and stuff. I'm like, all right. So I get up there, and they're in the middle of a group, which like a group session, and they're fucking fighting. They're just fucking fighting. He pulls a guy out of the group who was my roommate to show me the room, while another counselor gets up and starts yelling at everybody. And he starts talking about how he was just a real, like, they kind of played good cop, bad cop, but the one guy was just like, he liked tough love. Like, he was just like, he would give you good information, but he basically told you, like, if you're bullshitting here, you're going to fucking relapse. In fact, every one of you here, there's 30 of you here, and one of you might get clean, but you'll probably be back. And I remember thinking, like, damn, I was the one guy that got clean in like the last time, and I'm fucking back. I'm fucking back. And I remember just thinking that. And then I'm sitting there, and they're doing my paperwork. There's a group here, and like 10 feet away, I'm sitting there in my fucking hospital gown, fucking basically half naked. You might as well be fucking naked. I actually probably would have rather been naked, because that hospital gown is not good looking at all. There's basically no back, right? There's no back or no front or something. It's really just like, you ain't got no t-shirts, man. Um, so they're going around the room talking about how they're doing, and everybody's like, either I'm good or I pass, or I'm good, I pass. And the counselor's saying these guys are all bullshit and ain't nobody doing real work up here. All you want to do is fucking get your methadone and fucking leave, and just bullshit all the time. All these guys are doing is waiting until this gets over so you can play fucking spades again. And he's like, somebody's gonna fucking talk. And he's going around the room, and nobody's fucking talking. And he asked me to fucking talk. He said, why don't you join the circle? I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, he asked me to get up and walk over to the circle. And I was like, oh man. All right. So I get up and I go over, and it's rotating around the room, and I think because he showed up, like the whole fucking place, a couple people start talking a little bit, like, I miss my kids, and fucking just, I still, this methadone still wasn't holding me. Still feel like shit. And a couple people are talking, and then, it comes around to me, and like, everybody was just complaining. And I was just like, I tried to get in here for 14 days, guys. I never thought I'd be so happy for a guy to ask me to strip down into my boxers. And I told him my fucking story. I told him like everything. And I forgot, before I go, my roommate gets into an argument with one of the guys yelling. One of the fights was basically my roommate stole something off of somebody else. That was the gist of it. And he was sitting next to me, and I heard what happened after he showed me my room. We come in, and they're fighting about how my roommate's stealing shit. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. If this motherfucker steals shit, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep my cool. Not tonight. I'm not, maybe not tomorrow. But anyway, so I just tell him my story and why I'm there and like just how I just fucking can't wait to get home, but I'm glad I'm here. Like it's just been 14 days since I seriously wanted to get in here, and there's no beds in Philadelphia, and I just feel lucky to be here. I'm just so glad to be here. And because the room was so grim, I don't know, people just stayed silent for a little bit. And I remember the guy that was arguing with my roommate came up a little bit after that. He's like, I'm just glad this guy walked in because I'm not even thinking about what the fuck is going. I'm too busy about sitting here, and I don't even give a fuck like what got stolen. I don't give a fuck if my dose is holding me. I don't give a fuck about even missing my kids. It took me a while to get into. And he's like, I'm glad that he walked in after nobody being in here and just fucking reminded me. He reminded me that I'm lucky to fucking be here. And between that and my friend's mom and just everything within the last couple of days, I just felt blessed, even though I was in the shittiest fucking situation, being in rehab. I just I felt like I got a new start right there, right there. Plus, I was still high. That kind of helps. I think I think between them dosing me and me being high going in, it probably helped me adapt to the situation because I don't know if I would have been able to do that any other way. Um, but yeah, I stayed in there they only let me in for 21 days. They had to kick me out in 21 days. The insurance only paid for 21 days because I've been in and out of so many rehabs in my life. They only were going to do one more. They said, they said, you're not getting rehab anymore. You got 21 days now and don't try to come back because we don't know what's going to happen. But if you come back within like the next year when this president's still in, they're not going to let you in. You got this chance and that's it. And you got 21 days. We're giving you no more. So I just made the best of that 21 days and got out. And here I am, man. And I guess the whole premise of it is obviously my mom and her mom and my daughter's mom took care of her while I went away. And I guess the gist of it is as selfish as I was in addiction, I had to be that selfish to get off of addiction. And that's kind of how I look at everything. I look at everything as a selfish act. Even even this channel, it helps people, but through me being selfish, really. I help my family through me being selfish. If I wasn't selfish enough to want help for myself, I can't help nobody. If I wasn't selfish in the fact of this is what I want to do, I'm not helping nobody. When you're so selfish in a good way, it ends up benefiting a lot of people. Like today, I was selfish in a lot of ways. Like I gave tips to like 3 people to make me feel better. That was selfish to me because I was having a bad day. I wanted to make myself feel better because maybe I made a mistake by being nicer to other people. Did it help other people? Yeah. But it was kind of a selfish act because I was only doing it for myself, really. It ended up helping other people. But the same thing. I was very selfish in my addiction in putting my family through and friends and other people through all this shit, landlords, all that shit. I was very selfish, but I had to be selfish to get out. I had to forget about everything else. I have to forget about I have a daughter. I have to forget about I lost this. I have to forget about these people are after me. These people are after me. I have to forget all about that and just think me. And that's kind of what I thought all through rehab was like, this is me. Like, this is for me. And they say the world doesn't revolve around you, but sometimes in your eyes it does, doesn't it? It does. In my eyes it does. But if it revolves around me and I want to be good to other people, then that's okay. It's okay if I feel the world revolves around me, as long as I'm being positive and doing good things. You could do the same thing and do bad things. Do bad things for yourself and others. But honestly, in your own eyes, the world does revolve around you. I can't honestly say that I feel any way about anybody else like I feel about myself, right? You kind of have to be selfish. You gotta. It doesn't matter. It's never a bad time to go to rehab. It's never is. You just have to do it. And if you're thinking about going to rehab, it's probably just a good thing to do, because nobody has a good job and things are going good and they think about going to rehab. No, it's usually very opposite. It's usually you ain't got shit. That's why you're thinking about going to rehab. And you should just do it. You shouldn't worry about any other things. So, man, I see a lot of people in here, and I think I'm fucking done, man. I think I'm done. I think the basis of it is being selfish. Like, just saying, who cares, and it's done and over with. That was the hardest thing for me, man. That was the hardest thing. Is like, just think, like, you put all this weight on your shoulders. Like, if I do get clean, now I got to do this. I got to get an apartment. I got to get a car. I got to take care of these back taxes. I got to fucking, oh my God, dude, I gotta be a real father instead of just a fake father. I gotta do all this shit. And you put all this weight on your shoulders when really, today you just gotta get to rehab. And literally everything else fell in place. I had, by the time I got out of rehab, I had insurance. It was welfare insurance for then, but had insurance. I mended a bunch of bridges while I was in there. I figured out like what I was going to do. 2 weeks out of rehab, had my job back. It just can't, like, this shit doesn't even matter. The things that I was worried about that day 6 years ago, it was harder for me to even think of why was I worried. Like, I had to think for days, like, why was I like so worried? Because today all that shit means nothing. It's nothing. And the 21 days rehab is such a small fraction, small fraction of my life. 21 days? That's nothing. 21 days is nothing. But that's it. I'm going to put the chat back on. Restore chat. Okay. All right. Oh my God. All right, everybody. I'm glad to see all the positive stuff. Bippity boppity boo. That's a great name. Let me say hi to people that are in here. Vape Rolls Vape. You were muted. That is the best fucking. Oh my God. I had to look. I was like, dude, could you fucking imagine? That is fucking hilarious, Vape Rolls Vape. I can't think of a funnier fucking thing to say after that. I really can't. That is fucking hilarious. Oh man. That might have made my day. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, see. Oh, what's up, Tom? See, let me say hi. And what's up, Kim? Thank you, Vape Rolls Vape. So, here's the thing. Chevy Man, what's up? What is up? Matt Williams, Thomas Robinson, what's up? Jay is boards here. Stu Rep. Patrick McGinnis. I'm trying to read. I just have the chat on now, so if you said anything important, whatever, I'm not doing coffee talk tomorrow. I got to work tomorrow. But thank you. Yeah, it is 6 years ago today, to this date, that I walked into rehab. I I usually consider like 6 years clean, like when I walked out, which would be January 17th or 14th, 21 days, 28, 29, 30, 17th. It was 21 days for sure. 17th, it was like the 17th. I hope I don't have it backwards. Was it? Whatever. Listen. Listen, it's close enough. How I remember them dates is actually very easy. Like lots of people are probably thinking, how the fuck do you remember that? Because when you go to meetings after that, you always say like, I'm 5 days clean. I'm 6 days clean. I'm 7 days clean. I got clean. How many days am I today? Well, June 28th, 21 days. How many days am I clean today? Wow, 6 weeks, because June 28th was 6 weeks ago. So, awesome, awesome, awesome. I don't think so, Dark Side. It was actually raining that day, too. I remember. What's very important is having cigarettes when you go to rehab. It's very important. Probably not so important. I wonder if they would let me in with a vaporizer. Not that I'm going to relapse and try, but I wonder. I wonder what would happen. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, you gotta have smokes when you go in there. So, I was pretty high when I went there. I mean, I wasn't high off of whatchamacallit, but oh yeah. So, listen, I have things about rehab and like when I got out of rehab that I could share later because it's actually pretty important. The days that I got out of rehab, some important shit happened, but I never relapsed, which was good. But there's always something that tests you, right? Especially when you're like just 21 days out, you're living in the same neighborhood, you're going to see somebody. You're going to see somebody. Yeah. So dark side coils, so they actually do have meetings like that. They do. They do. And you know what's funny about them meetings, man? Like when you're in rehab, every week they have like a guest speaker. And I absolutely could go back and say, and it's almost like comedians, right? Like there's some good speakers where they have like an hour. And I would actually like to do that. I would like to actually like have an hour of my recovery material and do them meetings, especially after I'm done on the methadone, because there is a lot of fucking and what's up, Dark Side Coils, by the way. Straight tripping. But they have to test the juice. I've done it before though. I've done speaking at meetings before. I've done a couple MA meetings. Um, my problem is I forget like my first time around so much. That's the problem with Xanax is you forget a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. I have had people tell me I've done stuff that I don't recollect at all. I've had so many of them warnings where people tell me like some shit and I'm like, what? I don't remember that. Yeah, if it wasn't for opioids, they'd be talking about benzos. So NA meetings are good, but you got to find the right one. You got to find the one that like has people in it, because that's how it is. NA meetings are very cliquey. They're very cliquey. If you really want like people to care about what you're talking about, they're very cliquey. So what happens is you have to find your meeting. You're going to go to a meeting and you're going to notice after a couple, if you know this information that you got to find your meeting, you're going to know. Look around at the people around you. Are these your people? Just because you're in the same neighborhood doesn't mean they're your people. Because I've been to them. I've been to them in my neighborhood, and they're not my people. And then you could go around and you find like, even like I've been to ones where it's like all contractors, like lots of AA meetings are damn near all contractors. They're just not my people. They're more my people, but like there's usually only, I've had a lot of I've had a lot of like people tell me when I went there, like, oh, it's cool that you're on methadone. I just wouldn't say anything. And then I know that they went and said something to somebody else. And because you start getting an attitude, with people. And I just don't like that because I'm not, man, let's just say if I feel some kind of way, I'll let you know. I will. More so in person because I don't like it when people get treated differently. I'm more likely to say something if you're treating somebody else bad than myself. I don't like seeing people getting left out. I don't like seeing people getting bullied, basically, just downright bullied. I just don't like seeing it, and it happens in them groups. I've watched them literally just make somebody feel like absolute shit, and a female just break down and cry because she was honest about being on methadone. And after that, it just changed my whole outlook. On it. Yeah, you gotta. What's up, Frank? You got to, you got to, you gotta be selfish, man. You gotta be selfish in order to, like, you're no good to people when you're getting high. You're no good. You're no fucking good. You're actually, you're a fucking burden. You're a fucking burden. Even if you're not like grubbing money off your family members and friends, even if not that, just the emotional burden that you put people through, nobody wants to see you like that. Nobody wants to see you wasting your life away and maybe even dying. Like, people don't even know if you're going to make it through the night. I mean, addicts don't come home and go to bed at 8 o'clock. They don't do that. I know I didn't. I know before them weeks, I was partying it up, dude. I was fucking hanging out with fucking stupid people, doing stupid things. There was a time I don't think I didn't even really have friends. It was just, there was no friends. They were just acquaintances, get high buddies. But Fresh is going to be on soon. I hope somebody got something out of this. If a couple people enjoyed, if one person enjoyed, if one person got something out of this, it helped me. It's a selfish thing to do this, honestly. But what I mean by that is it's selfish because what I want is to do this, and what I want is somebody to get something out of it. All right. 10 years. Congrats, congrats, congrats. Vaping Kenny, go ahead. Ask an off-topic question. Clint Johnson, what's up? What's up? Thank you, Todd Black. I always tell everybody this, that it's not selfish to take care of yourself first. Yeah. It's like on an airplane, right? They tell you, like, you take Vaping Kenny. I just did that in coil class. Yeah. If you're doing round wire, watch coil class 15. 15? 15. Watch coil class 15. Coil class lesson 15. Do that one. Coil class lesson 15. Loop method will be the easiest way. Or parallel clapton. Exactly. Especially your mom. Your mom will lose sleep, absolutely. Yeah. Can't take care of anybody until you can take care of yourself. Yo! I'm trying to do a show here. Will Boyles, what's up? Is that him? No, Vaping Kenny, okay. Yeah, what is it, WWE out in that hall? What the hell? What is this? Worldwide Entertainment? What is this? Wrestling World Federation? What is this? Trying to do a show here. Listen, 15. Yeah, I actually also have. Do I have just a round wire staggering video, like a quick one? Probably not. The latest coil class, yeah, the very last coil class. I think that has the best one, easiest one. Actually, stagger fuse Claptons. Look at that one too. I don't remember what lesson that is, but look for stagger fuse Clapton coil class. That's how I roll. Oh, what keeps me clean? Hobbies. Hobbies. Um, hobbies. It's selfish. Just hobbies. I feel like we all have to be addicted to something. We all have addictive personalities. And, right, Jamal Drew, my hair's all right. I gotta cut it soon. I can't do it anymore, man. I just can't do it. I'm gonna be honest right now, dude. I've been saving it to do a fucking Ned video, and I haven't fucking recorded it yet, but I have so much good Ned material. I think I'm gonna be able to record like 5 Ned videos in one. I've been saving my hair for that, so I'm gonna try to like just record like 5 Ned videos, cut the hair, and I probably won't record another 5 videos until my hair is long enough to do it. So that's the reason why I don't cut my hair yet. But yeah, hobbies. You gotta have something to do, man. Like, think about it. Most people get high because they're bored. If you really think about it, they're just fucking bored. There was a really good lesson I heard in a group therapy session, and it was about like what different feelings lead to, like different feelings what they lead to, and boredom left to Oh man, I forget, but boredom's a big one. Boredom, people get bored. They get bored. Yep. People, whoa. That water mix he made is cloudy as fuck. Did that just happen to everybody? It's them Russian bots, dude. Kim don't play. She don't play with them Russian bots. What's up, Tim? WP Mac. All right. I forget what. Yeah, I forget what boredom. I have to pull. I say the lesson, dude. The place that I go to, right, for methadone, they do therapy, and there is a fucking counselor there that is way too good for this place. He's just too fucking good. I don't know where the fuck he could go because there's not really many good places in Philly. Like the place that I went to is in the middle of like the worst neighborhood ever. Like when I was walking there, I probably almost got robbed like 3 times. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. What's up, Trevor? Dustin Singer's here. All right, Tim. Troublesome. Gotcha. Troublesome. 4,200. Okay, yo, Fresh is on, and I gotta get to bed, dude. I don't know if you see it. I am so sun. Actually, the lighting is actually making me look not sunburnt, but I am. It's not coming up on camera. Weird. It's actually not coming. I am so red right now. For some reason, it's not coming up on camera. Whatever. It don't really matter, does it? Simple Babes. I'm glad people enjoyed. I had to do this video. I was going to pre-record it, but I was just going to sit here and talk and pre-record it. So I'd rather just do it this way. Plus, I'm not going to have a coffee talk tomorrow morning. I will be live building tomorrow night. Start concrete construction job tomorrow. 50 plus hours. Damn. All right, everybody. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow night at around the same time. A little earlier, probably. A little earlier. Everybody have a safe weekend. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your night. Go watch Fresh. Go watch Tommy Bakers. Enjoy. I'm going to go eat and crash. Yeah. Listen, I am going to I got to get the build-off video done, of course. The first of the month, I'm going to drop our giveaway video that we did on Patreon last night. And tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to make it. I might try, but I don't think I'm going to make it to the Pride Baffle. My prizes are still going to be in there. Oh, man. I'm going to have to think of something. But all right, everybody. Peace. I digress. Everybody have a good night. Fresh and Tommy, go watch. Enjoy and thank you. Oh, 6K. Whoop, whoop. 6K, 6 years. 666, motherfucker. I'm out.